They're rich. If I have 200 views, I should have 200 likes. Why do y'all act like liking a video is like me asking you to donate a kidney? Y'all want to give these celebrities so much love and praise and affection. They don't know you, gang. They're rich. If I have 200 views, I should have 200 likes. Why do y'all act like liking a video is like me asking you to donate a kidney? Y'all want to give these celebrities so much love and praise and affection. They don't know you, gang. They're Ow. It is 4:39 in the fucking afternoon / evening. Ow. And I have more bones out of place than a caviar dinner on the table of a cannibal. Hello, Jack. I see you. I will get you to you in 1 second. Probably more like 5 seconds. That's it all here.
thumbnail. And another thumbnail. Tree link. And link to the broadcast. And copy paste this. Juice, post, image. And we're good. Okay. Hello, Jack. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Is my voice coming in well? I'm using my laptop mic right now.
Yes, it's good.
All right, cool. So, for those of you who haven't been keeping up, or who haven't watched the most recent Versus chat, I'm the guy who ended up introducing Carl and the rest of the server to Komi Gagnon and the Xamatis Consortium. And Carl actually wanted me on that stream, but unfortunately, because I go to bed super early, I didn't see him trying to contact me in the server. And also, he ended up getting me mixed up with Juan. So, yeah, that ended up not going through. But, he did give me the chance to come onto the stream, to come onto the Yap-In, and just give some final thoughts on the consortium and, like, you know, as a movement. And I really appreciated that. So, the main thing that I want to criticize about the Xamint movement is just how absolutely terrible it is from an aesthetic standpoint. Because when you look at, like, the original fascist movement in Italy, like, regardless of how you feel about Mussolini himself, obviously, like, the aesthetics were popping. Like, genuinely, the aesthetics were popping, because so much of that movement was inspired by the futurist art movement that had come about in Italy, like, following the First World War. Like, not one of the original co-writers of the Fascist Manifesto was actually Marinetti. I think his name was Filippo Marinetti, who was a futurist poet, and that showed in their propaganda, in the in, like, their architecture, like, and overall it helped them make their own unique, like, you know, it helped them stand out from everybody else. And the big problem with the Xamantist aesthetic is that Komi is just aping the white identitarian movement's aesthetics from, like, the alt-right pre-Charlottesville. Like, when you think about like, his Substack, which had the profile pic of him with the as like a Greek god with his, like, cornrows being chiseled into marble, which would be a real bitch to do if we're being honest. Like, just if you have anything to say, like, I'm not saying that, like, why aren't you contributing? I'm just saying, like, I know this is my first time on the stream, so, like, I don't want to, like, you know, be too much, like, take away from you. Like, if you have anything that you want to say, like, go ahead and say it.
Well, we don't have horror breathing down my neck while I take notes and listen to people intently telling me, Carl, you're not reacting hard enough. So that's kind of like one upside of her not being head moderator of disciplinary action anymore. But I'm giving you the ability to speak because I'm going to be dead. I don't know how the fuck I confused you for an entirely different user. However, I believe the way that...
different ethnicity, too.
Yeah, the entire way that I assumed that it happened is that the two of you both similarly bring me topics and ideas about similar things. And my brain was like, oh yes, this is the guy that brings me shit about things like Pod Awful and shit like that. Because both of you, I think, cross over in my audience with that of Jay's. So the difference between the two of you being Carl watchers and Jay Longbone watchers is pretty much a break-in dividend. And then after, like, paying attention, because I've been sleep deprived for about 6 to 7 days now, caring for my parent. All of it is just, like, contextually, like, wow, that's really bad of me. But on the other side, it's like, you gotta understand, I'm operating like fucking 4 hours of sleep. Shit's gonna happen.
Yeah, I totally get that. I totally get that. Like, my family's been dealing with a lot of like our nana's health issues lately. So like, she doesn't live with us like you live with your mother. But like, yeah, I definitely know what it's like needing. I definitely have like an idea of what it's like to like constantly be needing to like look after somebody in your family. So like, I'm not like holding that against you at all. Like, I'm really like you do good work. You do good work.
Mm-hmm. Now,
yeah.
Ultimately on that, especially on that issue, because originally in my head I'm thinking, yeah, the entire internet's not going to let this guy go to waste, because this, like Dan's Burst Studios, is an exquisite level of a lolcow. Because nobody necessarily takes his movement seriously. But it's very much the case of, oh, look at this guy. Look at him thinking that he's special hot shit. And then he completely disappears off the spectrum as though he just stopped existing. That was strange. And the reason why that happened is because he did the BFE. As I broke it down on the broadcast, basically, he runs and owns his own business here in the area of Georgia, between my city and where he lives, where effectively he is taking the white man's money while actively trying to proliferate a movement in the backyard of what effectively is all of the jigaboos one would ever need to insult and say, look at these honkies, look at these monkeys, they're not like us, we're different, we have better ideals, we dress better, my girls like to wear their hair all the way out. You know how rare it is to find a black woman who wears her hair down? all of the shit that effectively is, we want to be different, and we're going to do whatever it takes to seem different and get people on our side. And for what it's worth, it's not a bad ideal structure because it appeals to certain people. Like, you wouldn't have the Groypers being attracted to Nick Fuentes if it wasn't for the fact that allegedly he's one of ours, because, you know, in the grand scheme of things, getting zizzed and ringed by fucking Roseanne Barr saying, hey, look, I'd rather be on the side of American politics than be on the side of cat boy furry cock, that you can't come back from that. So that's one thing in Comey's position. He hasn't been harassed by a American comedian that has clocked him for being a gay fag. However, the problem that Comey has, especially when you recreate everything that he deleted, because it's not so much that everything's gone, but there's a significant number of things that are like missing. So he's deleted his LinkedIn, his professional business one. He has privated any and all information that can be tied back to him. However, the broadcast that, ironically, I don't know why the fuck I couldn't recognize Richard Spencer when I was looking right in the face, but he didn't have, and doesn't have, the ability to hide that one public stream that he did with Richard Spencer. So even though he's gone to the left wing with his politics, as he's trying to be an acceleration over there, it does not suit the position of people like Comey Gagnon very well, because an identitarian movement that is based in strong inherent blackness kind of falls flat on the face of most African Americans, because any guy who wants to look at what he's doing is going to look at his material and be like, nigga, you're goofy! And it kind of just blows up in his face. And the main reason why it blows up in his face, despite all the effort he took to try and hide his origins and his influences, is that he's putting a lot of effort. He's putting a lot of effort into trying to have that cool aesthetic feel, where it's like, yes, my dick looks cool, my ass looks cool, everything about me looks cool. And it just doesn't work, because black people are going to mock him no matter what he fucking does. That's the first and foremost. There's no getting out of that. They're going to make fun of him They're going to make fun of his dress. They're going to make fun of his everything. Because everybody around him sees him as a joke. Could be the case that he's 100% serious. That when he says, I want to have strong black queens that wear their hair down, and I want to be surrounded by people who are strong in individualism, and all the other things that happen to go into the side of the archetype of his movement, it's no different than the Not Fucking Around coalition of Stone Mountain, Georgia. If you could be able to create a foundation where that became a legitimate structure, and he would be no different than any other fucking religious group on this side of the Winn-Dixie line, it would be an influential take. But the problem is multifold. Of all the things that matter, just to glance over at the fucking thing, there's like 3 main problems with his particular attempt to be relevant. The first one is by having unlisted or privated the majority of the videos of the Zamnist Consortium, all of his think pieces basically are completely gone, wiped from the face of the internet, which means SEO engagement on that kind of information, he's building from the darkness like it's a cult. And it is a cult, religiously.
Absolutely.
The second problem is that on top of using the fascist aesthetic to try to make himself look more interesting, even though he himself is like a very handsome man, the problem is that he's just not going to win over black people, because as much as he would like to say black crime, I don't fucking care, 1350, and his horrible take about black anime, is that most African Americans are bandwagoners. If they don't have strong personalities, they go along with the flow. And going off on that female cosplayer from Anime Kai and the talking points that he made against said person, he's effectively killed himself and having people of relevance that he can rely on that helps him get something out of what he's choosing to manifest for himself. Everything he wants to manifest requires people who are going to be willing to follow him, and unless somehow magically he's able to get a lot of natural 4C hair honeys to become fascists, where you finna find a woman at? Because the men aren't gonna follow you because it doesn't seem like this gets them pussy. That's the main problem. Like, probably not a problem for the gropers, but it's definitely a problem for him. This doesn't look like it gets some pussy. Then, on top of not getting pussy, the number 3 thing, but the number 1 problem that he has is his entire viewpoint. It doesn't live to his standard, right? Unlike Nick Fuentes, he is effectively scared of people knowing what his viewpoints are and actually taking consequences from them. He shut down his other platform. He shut down his other Substack that was focused on the Zamet. He has the account that's under main editor, but you have to make an account in order for people to get into his worldview, to understand what he's doing and what he wants to be a part of. He will have to do so much extra heavy lifting to see his point of view, so you kind of don't get anybody on your side. You're going to lose the black men, because the black men are think you're a fucking joke. You're going to lose the majority of most black women, because they're already divesting away from black men, which is kind of like a side effect of him not understanding what black women actually want, because what they want to be is taken care of. That doesn't mean that he's not right. It also doesn't necessarily mean that he's not wrong, but it means the things that he's trying to pull in for, it's like being walked up to with a cold approach by somebody who's trying to give you a coupon for a restaurant you've never been to. But it's a secret restaurant, and they're only open 5 hours of the day, and you gotta know a secret password that you have absolutely no hint about figuring out where to go to unless you listen to like the 30-minute spiel this person has to offer you on the side of the street, giving the coupon to said restaurant. It doesn't fucking work.
Yeah. You know, regarding the point you made about Comey not being attractive to black women, Mikey No More actually made a really good point during one of his streams. It's ironic that Comey goes so hard against black anime fans because the only sort of the only like women, but the only like black women in particular who would really find him attractive are like girls who are really into anime and who like have a thing for like evil, like stoic sort of pretty boy sort of characters. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yes, this motherfucker reads like fucking Black Eisen all day, every day. And I'm not talking about Eisen after he got hot. I'm talking Eisen with the fucking glasses and then when he got hot. Because out of nowhere, just pulls out the whole SS uniform and is like, yes, bitch, come with me. We're going to rebuild the nation. How are we going to do that, Tony? You're going to have my children. All 11 of you. All 11 of you women are going to be the beginning of the Niggin 13. And my children will spread across the stars. This is the type of energy he's trying to bring. And then you're sitting there. And if you didn't go through his recent Twitter, because his old Twitter was gone, so he made a new one. And he's on there ranting about the kind of women he's into. When you listen to him and you look at the photo of the woman that he's doing the first interview with, and then he does the re-up that interview with, and you're like, dun, 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 and you do that fucking double take that Dexter does in Dexter's Laboratory on the fucking opera episode, you're like, nigga, you seen it with your girlfriend! What? Wait a minute!
Yeah.
Wait a minute! Wait a goddamn minute!
Yeah.
Wait a minute! This is your girl! Your girl's interviewing you about your politics!
Yeah. Like, look, I know that there hasn't been any, like, concrete information. There hasn't been any, like, concrete evidence other than him, like, talking about the kind of girls that he's into to, like, show that, to, like, prove that the two of them have been together. But at the same time, it's, like, it's the whole idea of sex-lectics, you know what I mean? Like, the idea that when it comes to navigating the political landscape, it's 50% about, like, understanding theory and, like, understanding how, like, power works and, like, how to, like, and, like, how different influencers, like, get big. And half of it is just knowing who's fucking who. You know what I mean?
Yes. Like,
And, like, it's...
go ahead.
Oh, go on.
No,
Oh.
go ahead.
I'm just saying, it's funny because, like, the main guy who's pushing this idea of sex-lectics is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. It's this guy, Bazillion, he calls himself Bazillion Thought, Basil for short, and he's this, like, I know this sounds off topic, but I promise I'll, like, circle it back. He's this guy who started off in, like, the Red Scare, like, Dime Square, like, post-left sort of sphere, but he ended up getting disillusioned with them, and now he's, like, now he's made his way to, like, becoming this, like, dissident right figurehead, who's actually friends with Richard Spencer and has done, like, a few interviews with him. And it's really funny because Basil is this, like, he's this, like, gay Afghan guy, and I'm not using gay, like, derogatory, it's, like, he's a very, like, flamboyant, like,
He's
squishy guy.
Yeah, he's queer.
Yeah. Wait, do you know who he is?
I don't. But from your definition, he's a metrosexual queer. And somehow he's found himself inside of the arms of the intelligentsia that comes from this movement.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, he is literally everything that Comey hates. Because, like, Comey hates gay guys, you know, Basil's gay, Comey hates Arabs, Basil's an Arab, and they're both friends with, and they're both, like, connected with Richard Spencer, but while Richard is willing to hang out with Basil because Basil's this, like, chill, fun guy who you can have a good conversation with, Comey is just, and I'm saying this as an autistic person, he's just too autistic to, like, really be friends with outside of a political alignment. He takes himself far too seriously. He has such a black and white view of the world that he can't like be friends with anybody who doesn't fit his specific worldview, unless, like with him and Spencer, it's like for the sake of like political stuff. Like, he's really just not the sort of guy that you want to hang out with. And, like, you can't have somebody like that leading a political movement. Because, like, what's the point of being willing to sacrifice everything for a guy that you wouldn't even want to have a beer with?
You see, it's funny that you mention this, mainly because I believe I and a couple of other people, which ironically crossed upon Destiny are responsible for what has basically caused an entire firm changeover inside of Wick TV's Discord, whose show I have been going intermittently on since December of last year. Now, the identity of Carl Luther, which I have developed to deal with people who are being way too fucking retarded, that they seem to not understand basic concepts that have to be worked out to them. That was a development that happened because, as you all know, as we cross over with people like Short Fat Otaku, he can be a bit of a tard in many ways, because he is a bit of a intelligentsia chud. I, being the archivist of the shit posters of most of the people you can go to find out about on Twitter or on the timeline since the days of Dorsey Twitter, it is a night-day difference, right? So the context behind the connection there is that Destiny started noticing that inside of Wick TV's Discord, he basically has a Helldumper website. That's the long and short of it. That's the easiest answer I can simplify it for. If you don't know what a Helldump is, Google it right now. But I'll summarize it in text, or rather in words. It is effectively a place where people go to do nothing but antagonize and be annoying as fuck about things that they claim matter to them, but is actually just a place where bullies go to hang out with other bullies, and whenever they see an opportunity to bully other people, they choose to take that opportunity to instigate that behavior even more than would be normal. Now, the problem with this is that Wick's Discord, rather than places like, say, my Discord or any other influencer's Discord, especially those that are apolitical or political, Jay doesn't have a Discord, but let's assume for the sake of argument that she does. Inside of Jay's Discord, you're going to get basically culture criticism, social commentary, news, views, rants, and reviews. Inside of my Discord, you're going to get the same thing, but a little bit less if she doesn't necessarily encourage or invite me along to do it, if I don't produce it of my own volition. But most of it's also going to be centered with the same level of instigation, but from the gamer position. So, Jay covers television and movies. I cover video games and entertainment topics and social culture shit. In Sharp Thought Otaku's audience, you're going to get a lot more of that, but only inside of the political lens. Some of it's going to be mostly from Devin himself, but you're also going to have gamers inside of his audience that are going to be talking politics shop most of the time. Stardust, a new friend that we've made because Carl's down with the Shazbat and does not like when other people bully other people. That's a person who exists inside of the debate sphere and inside of the influencer sphere, but she's much more a simple girl. She's a simple girl. She likes having fun on the internet, going out on Saturday nights, and making fun of all cows that don't know how to fucking act like normal human beings. And every other political sphere, you probably have people who are gamers inside there, but they care about political shit. No more different than the online Fox News, CNN that we've come accustomed to, or dislike in general, on various sides of the Gamergate platform. Wow, they really simplified this area. These things in connection with Wick is basically the equivalent of a way station. It is the place where you go to have conversations about the conversations. So unlike the leftists, which is to say, fucking FD Signifier calling into the Noah Samson Israel-Palestine livestream, but actually, actually meant and designed for him to raise money for his lawsuit against Ethan Klein, as Ethan Klein has now named him as number 4 pursuant for the, for the siphoning of views from his content. You can have people like Bad Empanada, a known antagonistic harasser, effectively platformed at one of these people, and the ability to have a conversation is literally only based on who you know and whether or not you're allowed in the room when it happens. Doesn't matter if you're an honest person, doesn't matter if you have something to say, or if you have something of viability to communicate or converse about. He will take and do everything in his power to act as though he deserves the right to treat you and anybody else like dog shit. This kind of behavior cannot work on the debate stage. So obviously, people have to learn how to follow rules. You can't just let them do what they want. The problem from all on-set material, because I've experienced it because they tried to do it to me, but officially, unofficially, we can't deal with things about that until Wick comes to his decision, by having people create that kind of hug box. The same way that we used to call them Nebula niggas, but ever since that video from Professor Layton, we now have the term Nebula Elite. But the Nebula Elite only choose people from amongst their own name and number. They're never going to platform somebody like myself, because why would they platform somebody who comes from a different perspective than them, who also disagrees with them, and can prove with their own works and their own acts that they are a part of the problem that creates the eventual cycle of their content becoming irrelevant. There's been a lot of reply guys and reply girls over the years. All those people, they don't have the ability to make the argument that they're just some guy, just some girl. No, they're actually important figures. They're individuals that are responsible for why half of this shit is happening the way that it's happening. You know, if they want to do that in their space, that's cool. It's much like how when Sharp Fat Otaku and Wick basically antagonized Naira after Naira did the whole Dev only cares about trans women unless they make his cock hard argument, which is, we can have a conversation about something, but you're not going to control what the conversation's about. You need to be in the room when it happens. Pretty simple concept when you really think about it. Because that's all conversations, right? All the people who have come to know me, all the people who have come to be on my platform, I don't really ask much of any of you. Back when people were sabotaging my platform every single day, because they used my platform both as a place to be protected by hiding in my numbers, and as an open mic night, they just got very comfortable with, imposing on me. Kindness, nicety, standards, all these things. And I'm just the guy that's like, bro, I'm trying to play some video games. Let's get the ball rolling on that subject matter. Very impossible for it to do that if that's the focus. So, for people like myself, if they ain't come for the chili, what they come for? If they want to be a part of the show, and they want to be a part of the audience, all they have to do is actually invest. Many of them, though, don't want to do that because, they think they're better than you. So, they just disallow from the platform. This would be fine for individuals, but when you're talking about a platform like Wick's platform exists to create conversations. Mine does as well, but I've been on hiatus with the Fried Chicanery podcast. Because originally, that was the thing that I sought to do, but unfortunately my co-host was more focused about being angry about things and, lusting after black women than actually focusing on what was in front of him. But for what it's worth, all of those things together, you cannot have a platform besides itself with individuals who go out of their way to control your access while also acting like they are innocent victims when they are in fact the reason why the platform cannot grow. So, those users choosing to constrict my creativity and constrict my access, they're doing that on a level interpersonally, where over there, they do it by design. They, by design, control Wick's ability to have a show because they are technically the hovel where other people go to come on that platform to speak and to be heard. Now, there are ways that Wick designed this so that people that would be considered odious figures, like people he doesn't like, would never have access to the community underneath the server, because it's the stage, and then it's the server underneath it, where the actual people congregate, that would give them the ability to be involved in the content, but not be involved in the community. You follow me? So it's a separate class system, basically.
Yeah.
The problem with that, as noted by Destiny, is when you have people who create hate-watching audiences, snarker audiences, that for 6, 7, 8, 9, up to 16, I've witnessed personally, hours a day, that they're shitting on a singular creator or a singular group of people, there is no way that you can be able to get those people to actually create a good environment. Because everything is stemmed off of the fact that they hate this group of people. They don't want them to have control. They don't want them to have rights. They want them to be excluded. And they will keep doing what they can to get it by trying to paper people out the door. Because if it was just as simple as getting the outcome that they wanted, being able to have fun with other people, and, hey, this person doesn't meld to our standards. They don't behave the way that we would ask users to behave. That'd be an entirely separate argument from what they actually do. Because what they actually do is they basically create the perfect PvP system to paper potential users out of the door, under the guise of protecting Wick. So just like Something Awful and the Hell Dump forums from which they get their name, you have people that have designed a perfect system where users and moderators, specifically two moderators in general, have the ability to control the vectors and to control the information source of who's allowed in the building. Now, if you get into a situation like what I did, and that moderator puts a gun to your head and says, "Oh, you don't like how we do things here? Well, you better read out that message that you don't like, that you claim you saw and you heard that you don't like, but if I don't fucking like it, I'm gonna ban your ass right now on the spot." They are litigating the ability for you to have a platform to speak based on how they like you. And that's the problem.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I actually have to just take a break really quickly.
Okay.
But I'll be back soon.
No problem. But that's the long and short of the problem. They have created a system where they can do no wrong. They control the vertical, they control the horizontal, and you can't complain. And if you do, look at this guy being a little pussy, being a bitch. Why is he complaining about the fact that we are antagonizing him, stalking him, talking about him 24/7, blah, 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 blah. I thought you liked having content. I thought you liked having sauce, spice, banter. These people can't handle banter. And their banter is nothing. It's wind signifying nothing. So the same level of alleged banter that people like FM Signifier do, but it's not banter, it's just he's being a dick to people that he thinks, in his case, are conservatives that deserve to be to be antagonized. All this shit together leads to the fact that if you want to have a platform, you basically have to suck dick. And because they are of a political persuasion, most of them being left, but they have right-wing politics in the sense that they believe in free speech absolutism, but up to a point. Very similar to Golden Age Cabal. They have created a perfect system where they can harass you and you can do nothing about it. It's very much a case of, yes, actually, Pip, it is very much the case of dance, monkey, dance. Because they've decided that if they like you or not from when they first meet you. If you don't have their politics, they don't like you. If you're not of their kind, they don't like you. But they will use whatever they can to justify berating you until you do something that gives them the ability and the excuse to shove you out of the door. It is an unfair behavior because it's not just something that they choose to reserve only for people they don't like. It's literally anybody they can get away with it with. They will do it to me the same way they will do it to you, the same way they will do it to anybody. Because it's not about being nice, it's not about being fair, it's not about being reasonable. It is about who they can bully and who they've been given permission to bully. If they get permission from one of the moderators to effectively push you around, there's nothing you can really say or do about it, except for complain to a moderator. But, the two moderators that are a part of the system, they justify that it's actually fair behavior, and thus the cycle of containment becomes how they basically push people out the door. This system cannot exist inside of that kind of conversational space, because they are preventing actual real conversations. Nobody wants to be stuck in a room with a retard who's screaming at the top of his lungs, because they might actually want to hear what the other people have to say. And if he's preventing them from having the ability to speak, or she, then you don't have a real community. You just have people that have decided who's allowed in the door and who's barred from entry because we don't like them, because they have bad vibes. That kind of thing, on top of the bad behavior, you kind of have to do something about it. Now, Wit's dealing with this problem from Snark is both foreign and domestic, so there's not really much he can say or do about it at this current instance. And it's kind of funny that Jack brings it up, because the fact this kind of drama is actually proliferate all over the internet sphere in general. It's what controls conversations in general, from here to every frame of pause. Hell, we literally just covered drama involving KinoFlex, friend of the channel, and the fact that the same people who were on that broadcast that were being confronted about basically trying to buy their way back into the good graces of the commentary community were a part of the Snarkfest. And the day that happens, well, he's got to stop the conversation, because these people are now destroying him behind the scenes by doxing Wick and more. The limits to which these people are willing to go is not a small number. They're willing to go a very far, far, far away to get the outcome they want. Come hell or high water, they're not going to stop until they destroy their perceived enemies. And the only way to really protect yourself in that way is to disallow them the ability to do so. And the only way to do so is to basically call them on their shit and take away their fun little hut box. So, it's sad, but you know, it is what it is at the end of the day, I guess. But moving past that, with all the things going on with that, it's an observation that definitely deserves to belong, because I think the point about especially having people that feel like they can hang out and be friends and be comfortable is probably the number one thing that you really, really, really need to have in any kind of movement, anywhere. Because if you don't have that, you don't have the backbone of a real community, period. It's kind of really fucking stupid. It's really fucking stupid. Because people who don't actually involve themselves with you shouldn't be able to block you from having access to the room. But that's how these individuals want to play the game. And the only thing you can do when you have that kind of ladder is climb it. The only thing you can do with that kind of ladder is climb it. So, if you have to climb that ladder in order to get it done, you got work to do. Shouldn't have to be that way, but that's the way they want it. It makes for an interesting and very annoying job, for the most part, but it's the world they want to live in. They shouldn't want it, but they do, so I'm gonna give it to them. Myself and several other people who have caught them dead to rights. Maybe they'll learn. Maybe they'll figure out, hey, retard, you don't want to do that with people. But my opinion is that they're not going to accept that they've done an oopsie poopsie. Those kinds of people have to kind of have it, like, beat into them. That they have lessons they need to learn. My back's itchy. They have to learn that there's lessons that you have to learn. And sometimes the first lesson is the hardest lesson, which is there are some people that you do not fuck with. In any space, anywhere where it matters, there are some people you do not fuck with. And it's not because you should be permanently scared of anybody anywhere. It's because you do not know who talks to who. It's like talking to a secret shopper. You do your job, you might get a promotion. You treat them poorly, you might get fired. You don't know who talks to who. And as long as you don't know who talks to who, you should treat everybody the way that you want to be treated. Catch a lot more flies with honey type shit. Some people don't want to understand that. And they want to act like you're asking them to be less of themselves. But these types of people, they've never known real consequences. So the only way to teach them this lesson is the hard way. And that's the part that really counts. That's the part that makes them hoary. They don't like being told that other people can smell their shit. They believe that they're invincible. So when you put them in the position where they no longer have the ability to use and abuse that power, all of a sudden, it is so good. Well, only for a while. It's just like a small little while. So it's kind of shitty that that's what's kind of happening to YouTube right now. It's being broken into pieces of factions of pro-Destiny people versus anti-Destiny people. The anti-Destiny snarkers are effectively revealing themselves to be like cringe, lazy losers that metastasized from White Forest and turned into this entire sphere of brouhaha bullshit. And then the pro or just neutral Destiny people are like normal individuals who just want to have a fucking ability to go onto a panel and not get doxxed. And then you got people inside of it that are always forever watching what you're doing, what you're saying, where you're saying it, how you're behaving, how you're acting, who you're talking to, who they observe you talking to. And the fact that they've been doing that to users like myself, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, take my dick out your mouth. Why am I all up in your throat? Can I collect rent on this timeshare I apparently own? So what happened to Utterly Noah? I'm pretty sure I covered what happened to Utterly Noah, but that's actually a good example of the pivot I'd like to say on that. So, a good example of why you need to be aware of who it is that you're talking to and who you're communicating with when you do dirty things that you shouldn't do in public is that it blows up in your face when the right and wrong person decides what's good for the goose is good for the gander. For the case of Utterly Noah, he tried to cover up his channel by changing the name handle to Noah the Otter instead of Utterly Noah. All the people who were there, including Morale, either disavowed him, called him retarded, and moved on to the next drama to try and proliferate him for money. But what they ended up doing is that they got themselves banned as well. All the circles and spaces where they could try to fish for clout. Because it was really, really important for them to make a name for themselves, acting like shit was sweet. What is this? Uncut Spirit 11. This was so for what it's worth, lots of people are going to learn this lesson the hard way. That sometimes kindness is not a negotiable option. And I guess it couldn't happen to a better dumbass, I guess. Because what other way would he have learned to stop doing this behavior if it wasn't for this way? Oh well. Ooh. And while we wait for Jack to come back.
Yeah, I'm back. I was just
okay.
I was just like waiting while you were talking.
Okay.
Yeah. So is it okay if we like talk some more about the Xamatis, or are we kind of like past that?
If you feel like you have something else you need to get out, go ahead.
Okay, sure, yeah. So like going back to the point about like the aesthetics of the Xamatis, I already talked about like the visuals and how a lot of them is just taken from like Identity Europa and National Policy Institute, like stealing their whole shticks. But another thing that I would like to talk about is like the music that he uses. Like when you watch his TikToks, like he's basically taking stuff that you would hear in like those Agarthan, like in those like Agartha Vril brain rot TikToks. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like the sort of like the like hard style that whole sound. And not only is he like taking that general sound, he's also using music that is like very specifically tied to right-wing European nationalist politics. Like in the there was the TikTok that you watched on the Versus chat where he was talking about the constitutional monarchy. The song that he was using in the background of that one was a slowed down version of L'amour toujours, which is this Italo disco song that's basically to right-wingers in Europe what Little Dark Age is to right-wingers in North America. Like, it started off as this, like, apolitical, like, party song, but then, like, footage came out from, like, German raves of people chanting to the tune of the melody, Ausländer raus, which is, like, German for foreigners out, foreigners out. And, like, I was thinking about how, like, ironic it is that he's, like, using all of this, like, white people shit as, like, the background music for his TikToks. And it made me realize that, like, his definition of what a good black person is and what proper, non-subversive, non-CIA influenced, like, black culture is so, like, the bar is so high that he ends up, like, 90% of black music is unusable for him. Because think about it. He can't use gospel music because he hates Christianity. Like, if you go to the Xamatis Consortium YouTube channel, the most recent video is called, like, Jesus Christ means nothing to a black man. and like it's exactly as cringeworthy as it sounds. He can't use jazz music because even though it started off as, even though it like originated from black people, it's not exclusively black to his liking. Like think of Dave Brubeck, Chet Baker, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Michael Bublé, you know, Laffy, Matt Dusk, all of these like, you know, non-blacks who've made it in jazz. He can't use house music or Detroit techno because that's the kind of music that they used to play in clubs. And we know that he hates that, like, you know, degenerate nightclub lifestyle, you know? Especially house music, because that's what, because we know what kind of scenes house music originated from, you know? And he can't use, like, a lot R&B music because that's too, like, soft, you know? The guys are too much in their feelings. He can't even use like the sort of like alt rap that you would hear from the 90s from like, you know, like De La Soul, A Tribe Called Quest, that whole like native tongue scene, because for two reasons. The first is that they're just too happy, and the second is that a lot of people involved in that scene were Muslim. And he hates Islam just as much as he hates Christianity. Like there's this TikTok in the like printing press express thread that Carl posted that he didn't watch in the video itself, that he didn't watch in the Versus Chat stream, where like Comey actually says that like in the Israel-Palestine conflict, he has more sympathy for Israel simply because like the Palestinians are a bunch of Arab Muslims, and before the white man came over, it was Arab Muslims who were enslaving black people. So like 90% of black culture, period, for being 90% of black culture just isn't good enough for him. And I'm not saying that, like, you know, I'm not saying that he's like, that he has like a moral obligation to treat Laffy Taffy like it's on the same level as like a Love Supreme or anything like that. But at the same time, it's like there is a time and a place for those sorts of like not as like hoity-toity, like you know, more, you know, street level, so to speak, like that sort of level of pop culture. There's a time and a place for that kind of thing, and like in his attempts to like reject all of it and like create this new sort of like aristocratic aesthetic for himself, he just ends up throwing away so much of his own history. Well, not his own history, because, you know, he's an African from Togo, but like just so much of the black history, you know what I mean?
Yes. It's one of the first things I noticed looking at his TikToks. Every single one of his shits, if he's not ripping something from hardstyle drum and bass, he's ripping something from techno French house music. It's so jarring, because when I talk about doing the research that I do, when I sit down and I study, because the majority of my studying process is effectively what I did there on the Comey Yap-In stream. I start off from what somebody hands me, and then I search through the links, and I use the SEGO engagements, and I search through any archived pages, of which there's basically none. So don't take it too hard for yourself that everything was deleted, even though I've told you guys, download this shit, archive it, save it on your backup drive, so that when people delete everything, we've got copies of it ready to go. Like, nobody on the internet would have, like, cared if this guy stayed around. Like, it's another fucking wannabe clavicular who can't make a clavicular cult around himself. He's one of the guys that doesn't make it. All the shit that he does to try and attract attention, and most of it doesn't work out because he can't take that attention. If people start digging into his viewpoints, it means, hey, don't you live in this area between here and Buckhead and Bankhead? And all of a sudden it's like, well, no, wait, no, wait, my white people money, no!
Yeah.
Because it'd be one thing, right? If it's just like, I don't want people to dox me. Because Flesh Simulator just dealt with this unreal level of doxing.
Yeah.
Destiny Wick just dealt with this unreal level of doxing. And I just spoke on how the snarkers are not helping with that. Both foreign and domestic. Inculcating themselves like they tried to do for years in my audience. Thinking that money and familiarity would protect them from being removed, so they could audience capture somebody, which is really the danger that Wick's dealing with. The potential of being audience captured by people who you thought you could trust, but you can't. All those things together make for all of the perfect little pieces to drop into the puzzle that explains why Comey had the DFE. Because it's money at the end of the day. He needs the money to keep this thing going. If he loses the job that he built, the business that he built with his two hands, say what you want about his politics, at least he is an industrial black man, then he can't get those short queen honeys with the 4C hair bust downs that wear their hair naturally. He can't have interviews with Richard Spencer on his platform, on his Substack, because he won't be able to get into the room where he should have to pay for something, assuming they didn't have to pay for a room, for like a war room course. So at least, he's better than, say, the Super Peter brothers, Tristan and Andrew Tate. But at the end of the day, here we go, another failed influencer with a stark cult around him, Liar Creek pedo. When can we expect a Turkey Tom video about him? When can we expect a June King video about him?
Yeah, and really, this is, the last thing that I'm gonna really say about Comey. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about Comey. It's that he really is the definition of a fake aristocrat. And I'm not saying that because, I'm not saying that, he's LARPing as a rich kid, because, as we've seen, he genuinely is living that bourgeois lifestyle. It's why he's been able to say what he said and done it's why he's been able to, do what he's done and say what he said for so long, because he hasn't had to worry about this actually, affecting his bottom line, So, and, what I mean is that a true aristocrat, somebody who actually has the mindset of, I am I am a leader, I am one of the elite, I am that whole sort of thing. Mm-hmm. They don't hate their lessers, right? They don't hate the proletariat working class who are just going about their day. Yeah, sure, they'll try to keep them away from politics because, frankly, at the risk of sounding like some kind of Nietzschean wannabe, most people really aren't built to lead. Most people really aren't fit for politics. But he doesn't view that as a bad thing. He doesn't view it as it is a moral obligation to keep these people crushed because they are simply too stupid, too weak, too feeble-minded to they don't view their lessers as enemies. I was watching in the first stream that Mikey No More did about Comey. He watched this video that Comey did. It's called something how do we get the black population out of this? How do we get black people out of this mess? And he basically laid out this idea where 10% of the black race is made up of people like him, black nationalists, hoteps, people who put race above all else. And the 90% of black people who don't buy into that nonsense, they are enemies who need to be crushed. And keep in mind, Comey is a Pan-Africanist, so he's not just talking about black Americans or the African diaspora. He's talking about Africans too, right?
Yeah, he's talking about the entire sphere of the African, of the sub-Saharan African panopticon, which you might as well just take a member of the ANC government and how much they hate Danish and white people and just graft it onto and the coons of America and the half mulattoes and everything. It might as well be a rant from a black Hebrew Israelite, but he's well dressed.
Yeah, and it's here's the thing, right? When it comes to talking about how how the majority of people aren't built for politics and how the majority of people are meant to be led. Those people, your average, Joe Democrat in the street, your average, Joe Democrat who, gets all of his information from MSNBC and CNN And he thinks that, and he doesn't like what ICE is doing, and he doesn't understand why anybody would have like an issue with like gays getting married and adopting. Those people can be fixed, right? Because like everything that they know about politics, all their political views, they get it from the TV. So if you get somebody else to like, so if somebody like takes control of the reins of power and like gives them new propaganda to feed off of, like, yeah, it's going to take a bit of a difficult adjusting period, but eventually they will be able to like settle into like a different, more like, based, I guess, sort of frame of mind. And that's not, and when I say like your average Democrat on the street, obviously I'm not talking about people like Renee Good. I'm just talking about like just basic, like, normies, for lack of a better word. Yep. And you have to keep that in mind, that like the majority of people out on the street, like even the ones who could be a bit annoying on Twitter sometimes, they aren't your enemies. Your goal shouldn't be to like punish the 99% for the crime of, not being base enough. Your goal should be to like, take on the people who actually have power and getting them out of power so that like even if they're not, even if like, the 90% isn't on your level, they're still like doing better like mentally than they were doing before. Like they have a better understanding of the world because like, their minds are getting open up to like, better ideas.
Yes. Problem that will always eternally follow people like Comey. It's the same thing that affects us on Piker. They do not believe in the policy of love thy neighbor, but live separately from him. They believe in the doctrine policy of hate thy neighbor. They are going to always destroy themselves because the policy of hate thy neighbor is stronger than the policy of understand thy neighbor, but have a privacy fence. What I mean by that, I'll explain. I have a new neighbor that moved into the house that used to belong to the family that lived next door. I guess they just didn't like the neighborhood anymore, or they decided they wanted to go from these near 80s designed starter houses to a different home in a different place. Don't know why. Nice person. She left, and the people who moved into the place after they sold it immediately started building a privacy fence. Haven't introduced themselves, blase, none of that. Do I need them to? No. Would it be nice if they did? Kinda, maybe. But do they have the right to do that? Absolutely. And it's because it's a great policy to have. Because they eventually will have to meet people, assuming they ever come outside. Otherwise, they'll be just like me. But the point is that they can learn over time to understand their neighbor. But I can promise you, if we had the ability to afford building for labor that kind of privacy fence, we would. And it's because it's great to have borders. It's great to have fences. But you should not be so terrified in which you need to destroy access to your fences in such a way where you are preaching a gospel of monstrous hatred and otherization because you are that intimidated by every single thing that could happen under your watch.
Amen.
That is the biggest problem with almost any and all of these movements. And it's because these movements are not based on understanding why people are the way they are, because if they were, then Twitter would not be as hectic as it is. No, it's almost all rage bait at the end of the day. Some level of rage bait. And there have been people who have been trying to redefine what rage bait is. It's anything that is meant to get an emotion out of someone. It has never been, oh, rage bait is when somebody says 6'7", 6'7", 6'7", and not when, with a smirk on their face, they say, bro, you're not a woman. You're just one of those trans troons, bro. But all of those things are rage bait. And the problem is that when you have a attention economy that is fostered on getting people's attention and making a name for yourself, even if that means living in infamy, you get into the situation with people like Morale. And then you get into the situation of people like Hassan Piker and Comey Gachman. In Comey's case, he just doesn't have an appealing enough movement to bring people around himself the way that Nick Fuentes and Clavicular can. Because, he doesn't have a group of people who are part of a campaign server where people earn money spreading clips of you around so that your name becomes unavoidable because you're overloading the SEO engine while these people get money off of you, and you get money off of them. The same technique that Tristan Tate and Andrew Tate used to make his brother famous. If you don't have that connection like Hassan, where you have dick riders, mostly women, who basically also have the ability to control the platforms that people speak to, on the same level of the shit that's going on with Wix server, then you have the ability to control this dialectic around the culture of a person. Look at how quickly they try to sweep, as a joke, Collargate under the rug. Because so many people that are a part of Hassan Piker's sphere of influence woke up and he's like, wait, what? Whoa, he abuses dogs? Nigga, that's crazy! I can't believe that! But, I promise you, play that fucking song, Shock My God, I Can't Stop, played by Playboy Cardi, or whatever the fuck the name of the channel is. You will get instantaneously banned from Hassan's group, and it's because they know that it's effective. Their own tactics that they complain about from the, quote, alt-right pipeline is the same tactics they use in the alt-left pipeline. The only difference is that they're speaking on the level of trying to affect themselves as the new cathedral against those they perceive in power, so they can replace them, not so they can stop them and then do away with this problem and live in this level of splendor that they designed for themselves. And the number one problem every time is it's because they speak a doctrine of hating thy neighbor. As long as the internet is the way that it is, that is going to be the case always. Fortunately, people like myself don't speak to that doctrine. Both because it's easier to find more flies with honey, and if you were to cut off your ability to understand people based on whether or not you thought they were worthy, it's a very hard question, and it's a very hard standard to actually alleviate. Because talking to people on the vibe of, hey yo bro, we have simple rules here in our server. We want to have the ability to enforce those rules. Can you not be a raging AIDS pig? Is entirely different than, bro, I run a live show. I want to have conversations with interested people, but in the same breath that I say, come onto my show, I'll offer up to $400 for a person to argue the position of the devil's advocate, because nobody's willing to argue for this position. The people who antagonize me won't do it. The people who criticize me won't do it. I can't turn around and then deny the ability to have that speech because I don't like the person who's saying it. I can dislike them till high heaven, but I can't disallow them the ability to actually speak for the null hypothesis. I have to give them the chance to actually be heard, and they don't want that, because it's supposed to be about your offerings to this greater intelligence, to this greater user. And we are always going to deal with people who think they know more than others, but it's a special level. It's a special level of abuse, because your worldview basically doesn't work if you do this. If you're of those people that are taking part in that behavior, your worldview doesn't work by your own admission. So automatically people shouldn't follow you because you can't live your standards. But at the same time, you have this outward, specific, like, scary bitchness to you, where it's like, you protect yourselves not because you want peace, but because you're scared that if you don't gatekeep the right people out, then you're forever giving them the opportunity in which to be able to argue other people to their side. So that lie that the Birdman 15, Anthony Edward West, continues to hold about, oh, the reason why these people who are liars, cheaters, and grifters inside of the Phantom Menace continue to do what they do is because they're just fucking bigots. And if they actually platformed my arguments, they would realize that I'm better than them, and I'll steal their audience. The actual thing that he's arguing for, I've been doing to people for years. Because the persona of the always-on jester that Carl is a facade. Underneath this is an intelligent person. But they would never know that because they don't engage deeper. But then, when I'm in these places, talking to these people, they think, oh, well, this guy's a dumbass. He doesn't know anything about anything. But if I'm being myself, not trying to be nice, not trying not to step on any toes, which ultimately is a horrible tactic, and it's a horrible way to operate. Not because it's not good to be nice, but because these people take nicety and fairity and equal treatment as an opportunity to abuse you, because they don't care about that. They will use that to frame you as somebody who has a weak constitution, and thus a weak viewpoint for the future, and thus a weak ability to be able to actually discuss and speak on and affect the things you want to change. So in other words, look at this bitch. He can't lift a fucking muscle. You want to follow this guy, or you want to follow me? If you give them that space, they will conquer it, and they will taint it, and they will destroy it. So, for Wick TV, for example, not Wick himself, and not the people who call into the show, but those users who decide to call it their home, the same way those of you inside of Single Player Carl and Company call this one of the many homes that you regulate in, because it's just a server like any other server. They believe that they can conquer that space and claim it as political ground. And from it, they poison it like a briar patch. For those of you who need a comparison, think the ending of Act 1 in Baldur's Gate 3 if you don't talk to the people in the Emerald Grove to keep it open. They turn into a briar patch and they close the doors forever. You can't have that in a space where you want people to talk to you and understand you. You can't do that as a creator if you want to talk to people and understand people. The door has to be open. Doesn't mean that you don't have gates. Doesn't mean you don't have a moat. Doesn't mean you don't raise the drawbridge to put it over the moat. But understanding thy neighbor and respecting their boundaries is better than hating thy neighbor and claiming that everybody else needs to have an open door policy, but only you are allowed to decide who's let in and who's let out. Because they hold that standard, almost all of content in the internet has been completely cannibalized by politics. Because no longer is politics even about your worldview for how to live your life. It's about whether or not you're valuable and worthy to be a soldier in their forever war. Right now, it's Israel-Palestine, and they use Israel-Palestine as a cum-sock. They use it as a cum-sock to decide who gets to have money and who gets to have a platform. Next, they'll do the entire drama about these snarkers and about whether or not you're involved with them. Now, me, if you're a snarker and you're bitching about other people inside of somebody else's audience, again, take their cock out of your mouth. Take my cock out of your mouth if you're one of those people doing it, because that's ridiculous to do. How the fuck you gonna walk in my building and come in here and put your feet on my couch and then get mad that I kick you the fuck out? That's weird. For years, people have been angry that I've done that. They've been angry that I was correct on many dramas, and many situations that I was right about. They hate that I had standards. They hate that I still have standards. They hate that I have rules. Oh, really? I can just walk into your house? I can say all those slurs that I want? And I can eat the shit, man? No? Alright then, why was it cool then? All because it's about access. It's all about maintaining access. Monitoring spirits, we call them. People who are less interested in being involved in a thing, and more people who stick their head in to be like, is there something interesting happening in here that I can report back on? Is there something in here that I can be able to benefit and be able to profit off of? And if there's not, they fuck off. But only because they're going to come back 2 hours later and see, is there something interesting happening here that I can now profit off of? Ooh, look, something I can profit off of. And then, like the grifters that are unironically grifting in, say, the gaming sphere, Mark Kern, Smash GPT, all those kinds of individuals, Jay Viper, the rest of them, both people on the left and the right.
Icon Juan Delarose.
Yes, both people on the left and the right. Don't think that this is just one-sided. I hate all of those people. They are all fucking midwits. They're all fucking clowns. For easy reasons. Because they do the shit because they think this is what's supposed to be done. They think this is the way that you make the guap. And it's not. Ain't that right, Jeffrey Tarzia? How's that lawsuit going, dumb fuck? You can't do this shit. There are rules. There are levels to this shit. And there are rules. And on top of those levels and rules, there are people who document it. Like me. I write Sins and Tragedies. I don't care who's involved in them. I don't care who's right. Because there's only one person that's right, and that's the person who's doing what's going to keep the thing going. This use of trying to build a parallel society doesn't function if you don't actually invest into it. And every single time somebody's tried to call for one, they have never demonstrated trying to build one. The only one that I can say is really doing it correctly, is maybe Every From the Cause, Saturday Night Hypnosis, and Friday Night Tights. Because I've had to postpone the LolCal Slaughterhouse double feature between Jeremy of the Quartering and Chrissy Mayer and all of the others of Jeremy's Angels that continue to sweep for him, only because there was some drama still coming out that I wanted to get more context and more information on, and also just things happening involving my healthcare job that involves me having to spend time focusing on shit. So the constant sleepless nights not helping. I literally slept in more today so I could be able to do this broadcast here now. But pivoting back to what I was talking about, that need to try and control shit, it's bad no matter who's doing it. I don't want to speak negatively on horror's name, but I will criticize this one thing that was very important, because it was something that was relevant to the reason I had the opinion that I did during the PPE. Because we haven't stopped doing it, it's just that the person that I invited to be a part of it, who I respect the opinion of, Boomer, he's currently still building his house as a fixer-upper, so he needs some time, and then we can, like, return to that stream, because it's very important, the process of it. Everything that happened on December 6th is pretty much emblematic of everything I'm speaking on. But that need and desire of otherizing people, and then making an example of that otherized person to show them how their worldview is wrong, everything that has happened since the fiscal quarter of this year, from January to April, all the way through to the last day of April, has done nothing but validate the points that I've been making, and the arguments that I've been saying since then. And the arguments of the material that I produce on the Carl apps that I then post as single thought threads that come first from Twitter, and then get put through the editor to then put my fucking signature on them for the purpose of the broadcast. Just like what I'm saying here now. Every single thing that happened during then has validated the fact that you can't do this to gamers. Because gamers will talk. They're going to yap. There's nothing you can do about it. Trying to control them is just going to lead to examples of stories like Mixtape blowing up in the face of groups like Annapurna. Because you have a person who unironically, literally, is a paid millionaire, billionaire daughter who has a father who's tied to the Jews, who is somehow able to secure a license for multiple levels of costly money in a video game that they're selling on Game Pass, on Xbox Ultimate, Day 1 Game Pass, but only for $20? There's no fucking way you make that money back. Zero fucking chance you make that money back. Of course, that's going to be one of those shill situations. But the entire thing with, like, spheres of influence, of influencers in Marvel Rivals, in Overwatch, in Valorant, having to make names for themselves, that they create hit lists and signature lists, like what belongs to Quad, one of the many Marvel Rival creators, that basically is a watchful eye over the community, and can basically blacklist you on the spot. Because it's not so much that he's holding you to his standard, he's holding you to a standard. Like, don't say slurs. Don't start badgering people. Don't think that you're better than you are, and then get exploited and exposed live on camera, and then act like you didn't earn it. Basic shit like that. Everyone has their line in every single scene. And amongst the shit posters and people like myself, Jay, Christina Tasty, and the people like that, the never-ending conversational zeitgeist really just asks you to, like, don't butt fucking heads and don't try to crowd the table. Like, everybody's gonna get a chair to sit down and say what they want to say. There is no king or queen to this shit anymore. There are thousands of court jesters. There are thousands of, like, professional clowns. But there is no king and queen. Like, there's room for everybody. But some people, well, it's like Blade said, some niggas are always gonna forever try to skate uphill. Some people need to fall on their face in order to learn that it ain't gonna work like that. But as long as the way that the internet works now is basically not what you know, but who you know and who knows you, and whether or not they platform you on their camera, this is going to be the forever war that we have to deal with forever. So you kind of have to know who knows ball and who is just copying off of somebody else's homework. Well, I can't word. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say I've had a really great time talking with you. I really appreciate you letting me come onto your channel and give my final thoughts about the whole movement. And yeah, it's been a really great time talking with you. I think that I'm gonna just log off for the night. So yeah, I see Aqua, Saffronet, and Struggler in the audience. I'm gonna just head off now and let those guys come in and, like, you know, take control. So yeah, it's been great talking with you. I hope that you and everyone else here has a great night. See ya.
Okay. Goodbye. Now I pause. I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 3. I'm gonna flip the dice when I do it. That's not laying hard enough. Okay. Struggle bus. you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man? Been a while.
I'm alive with the sound of it's too fucking hot in here.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Mostly been doing a lot of work. I can only stay for like a little bit, but
That's
I
fine.
do want to I do want to talk about this one thing, and that is the absolute destruction of one Assam pipe.
I've seen the video of him being basically stalked and antagonized as he's going from place to place. That is funny.
Yeah, it's really funny. But I can't help but to think like karma, you know?
Someone has to give it to him.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I just want to laugh at that. What else I got? Well, there's the whole thing with. I don't know if you've been paying attention very closely to like the manga stuff lately, and the whole thing with yet another artist being pushed out because of the black community TM.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's that going on. And I just still have that same annoyance of being like, why are you so insecure about your race that you need to be everywhere all at once to feel welcome? I never understood it.
I find it weird. Me personally, I find it weird.
Yeah, I personally have been really secure in who I am as a person. Like, black is who I am, not what I'm trying to be. So I don't understand that need. Like, I have it for myself. Do you know these people have it for themselves, or is it like some sort of deeper issue? I just want to understand.
I, as a white woman lover, have been already excommunicated from the Forever Black Cookout, despite the fact I have keys to get in the fucking building. From their perspective, they think that if they bring back a much more lethal version of colorism that our parents dealt with, that this time they'll truly be able to stop white people from taking their culture. But the more that they keep trying to claim things that don't actually belong to them, the more annoying they make themselves, and the more egregious the examples of them being annoying become. Because every single bit of the way that they have decided to focus on that particular thing as a pet peeve, they have done nothing but validate most people's opinions about not liking black people in general and wanting to divest away from them as a part of the just general black diaspora without even having any of the harder stuff. It's just not worth your time. None of them worth your time. They want race war at this point. I don't know why they would, but they do. They want race war to feel special, I think. They also want to have some type of culture that they believe that white people can't have, but I don't know what kind of fucking white people they're dealing with, because I remember when the Booger Sugar was pure, and white people had rhythm at Studio 13, or Studio 15, whatever the illustrious club in New York City was. I remember when the Booger Sugar was pure, and no, these white people are on something different. You got white girls that teach fucking roller skate ballroom dancing now. Yes, it's real. And the shit looks fucking elegant. You got people angry because these girls have found something that they like as a hobby. And you got motherfuckers posting gifs of Dr. Umar talking about mean mugging them. It's like, bitch, be happy. Can you not be happy? There's not a single happy thing you want. There's not a single thing you enjoy in your lives joyfully. No. Just bitching and bitching and bitching. How droll. Which is ironic because that's what people say about me, and yet, ha 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 ha. How quickly did that shit turn around? Yeah, how quickly did that shit turn around? So weird. Could it possibly be that we actually do have joy in our lives, and the people who spend all of their day tweeting at each other and fighting each other for the glory and honor of black people don't actually have anything going on in their lives? Is it possible that the call was coming from inside the house the entire time? Yes. Yes, it is. But don't you tell them that. Don't you fucking tell them that. From everything...
It's a way to get excommunicated.
Like, from everything from I'm a lion fucking piece of shit, which becomes a lion chicken shit, and all of the fucking gay vocal stems that the black community have turned into perpetual TikTok memes. And I ain't talking about no Ant-Man Studio. I'm talking about the gay pornographic ones. The ones like, I'm new, bro, I'm new. And one of my personal favorites, now I understand what it needs. Now I understand what it do. Now I got you, baby, I got you. And then, of course, everyone's personal favorite, you digging in me, you digging in me, you digging in me, you digging in a nigga, you digging in a nigga. All of those things and more. The first thing that they would claim is porn stars like Miss B Nasty squirting in the back of a fucking vehicle. Because, lo and behold, for some of you, you don't come from the time period where a Poe used to spam nothing but this bait on the internet to get a reaction out of people. Now, he can barely be able to get a rise unless he's posting women like Clarissa Cordell, the alleged woman who looks like Sabrina Carpenter ate Sabrina Carpenter and then went to the gym and did lats. You have him trying to post people like porn star Sabrina Banks. You got him posting shit about the fucking strong arm weather girl. You got him posting shit where before he would have posted live links and gotten people in the black diaspora to basically wake the fuck up for a week and a half as he leads them around on a puppet string. Very long are the days where he would obsess over the good place and over Chidi. But now, we live in a time in the area where, where can't you find black people? Gaming, tapes, news, movies, television shows, miniseries, music, musical albums, music rap beefs, and they always know everything. And don't get me started on that anime. The hood weebs have to go. They have to go.
I've enough in my pack already.
It's all too much.
Carl's not enough. It's not enough. It'll never be enough.
Someone's got to tell them they got to stop. Someone has to tell them to eat 15 penises.
The wind howls.
Someone has to. They have overstayed their welcome everywhere. How do you do that? How do you overstay your welcome in every community?
I don't know what to tell you, bro.
I know what to say. It's nothing nice to say. But I'ma say it. Like, wow, you guys really have really outdone yourselves this time. The Ku Klux Klan can't beat none of y'all motherfuckers. All we really had to do is let y'all motherfuckers walk into the room like a hood Urkel and be like, nigga, is you pressed? Nigga, is you pressed? Oh my god, they really eating your ass up for real, for real. Ku Klux Klan didn't have to do shit. Just let you talk. Just let you open your mouth and embarrass yourselves and everybody else while you're doing it. Impressive. Impressive levels of ball knowledge. Just ball washing the entire time. Every single one of you. Amazing. Fuck. You don't even need people like Comey Gagnon. You don't even need people like Comey to do it. The blacks will do it themselves. The lower echelons will do it themselves.
They brought the crosses and the rope themselves. I had to do shit.
It's like, it's so impressive. Because I'm unironically friends with a person who, as you know, as much as he'd like to say white power, he also says, damn girl, why you so strong? So, how is it that y'all have him saying specifically, you know, Carl, if you and I weren't friends, I really hate black people a lot more. But you've shown me that it's possible that a black man cannot be offended by the word, and you know what the word is. It's so hard to teach these mongrels how to be normal that this thing I was just discussing with Jack is impossible for them.
Take this.
Like, Jay and I can have a field day making fun of these types of people. Because they're so easy. They're so easy to target. They're so easy to make an example of. But all of them, they act like perpetual victims. And they take no accountability whatsoever
Eye of the storm.
for any of the things that they cause. And they act like other people are doing it to them. And it's like, no. Just like how black women have to be told by black coaches that actually no man wants to date them because no man wants to be around them because you don't offer anything to even entertain him, let alone stoke his desire to want to be with you. It's not infinite white people being toxic and evil and mean. No, it's the way you act. It's the way you act. It's the way all of you act. You blame everything under the sun, except blaming yourselves.
Thinking.
And sure, you can learn to be different. You can learn to have a different perspective. You can become more improved and better. But unfortunately, they don't want to. They know that if they make this small, simple change, everything else will go away. Everything else will go out the window. And they won't have to concern themselves with these problems anymore. But no, it's not enough. It's never enough. It's never enough to just simply take the easy way out. They have to be at the forefront of everything. They have to be the center of attention. They have to be the ones that decide who's cool and who's not. And as long as they want to do that, be my fucking guest. You're gonna hate every single goddamn second. The Uncle Orca shit will always forever be a problem, no matter fucking what. It will always be a problem, no matter fucking what. Like, in everything. In fucking everything. Because, kind of on the side issue that I discussed with Jack just now, just like you have the diasporas fighting with each other for attention and control, you have African Americans, socially, besides themselves, fighting on all sides. Number one, what does it mean to be a black person? Number two, what does it mean to be a political black person? Number three, what does it mean to be truly woke? And is there a place for intelligence alongside niggotry? And the number one thing, number four, does niggotry negate general common sense? Can I be hood and be down while still having a large lexicon? Can I be hood and be down and want good things, not bad things, good things for my people, for people I know, for people in the know, while at the same time saying, I don't want to be next to you while you're doing this thing that I agree or disagree with? Not because I'm a bitch and not a real one, but because, like I said, I know when to respect my neighbor, but hate their behavior, and I know when to hate the behavior and when to hate my neighbor. We can't build shit if you got people looking at us like we don't know how to act. We can't make things happen if you got us embarrassed because you decided the smartest thing to do in the room was to be an annoying asshole to everybody you thought was irrelevant. And all of a sudden, while you're doing your best impression of Rice Gum, you find out, oh, actually that person, that's their husband, that's their wife, that's their boyfriend, that's their girlfriend. And now you gotta sit there saying, oh my god, I was talking shit to the person who's gonna make shit happen for me. And when they don't make it happen for you, and you complain saying, man, that's why people like y'all some race traitors. Coons, y'all some coons. They don't have somebody just walk up to them, slap the taste out of their mouth and tell them, that's the reason why y'all motherfuckers are destined to be alone forever. Because right now, if they're listening to the leaders that they decided they want to lead them, explain to me how FD Signifier is going to save you if you're always saying who is and who isn't deserving to be in the movement. How is he supposed to help you if you're constantly claiming that they are or they aren't are part of the correct side of history. How are you going to save yourselves if you logistically and legitimately cannot tell the difference between somebody who wants to help you and somebody who wants to see you fail, fall, die in your face? There's no world where people like myself can help people like that if everything they're going to do is going to be committed to ensuring they do not get the help that they want or need. I can't do it. I can't do it. You can't do it. He, she, we, they can't do it. Because if they could do it, they would do it with their own resources. But they can't. They don't have the resources. They wasted them on unimportant shit. Sucks to suck, but not my goddamn problem. Not my goddamn problem. No, no, no. Not me. Them. Not me. Sucks to have to say it that way, but I don't know where that goes. I'd be goddamned if I let somebody take advantage of my trust like that again. And then in the same breath, tell me I don't know which way to lead people. Can't do it. Cannot do it. Cannot do it. Will not do it. So, it is what it is, and worth what it is. The only thing that will make a difference at the end of the day is you have to give them some level of space. Not a lot, just a little, but you have to give them some level of space to make these mistakes, to fall on their face, and to tell them, bro, we'll be there to pick your ass up. But first, we gotta talk about how stupid you were. Nigga, that shit was dumb. Why'd you do that? You gotta have that. You have to have those conversations. Because if you don't, they're never gonna learn. Never. They're never going to learn. There are too many people who are invested in this shit. Too many people who are invested in their constant negativity that have made it into this thing that they're stuck in. They made it into an unsafe place. They made it into a scary place. Damn, I missed. They made it into a scary place. They made it into an annoying place. And at the end of the day, what do they got to show for it? Nothing. Not a damn thing. But that won't stop them from blaming me. That won't stop them from blaming you. Because they just need somebody to blame. All they want and all they need is someone to blame. It sucks that they have to blame people like myself and you. Because we're not responsible for it. Nigga, I'm just telling you what it is. I'm trying to help you. But that doesn't matter to them. Because they're technically lost causes, but we don't want to throw them to their own wolves. We hope that if they take enough of a hard lesson, that they'll figure out that, hey, this shit could get a lot wickeder, a lot faster, and a lot worse. It could be so much worse. And the only reason why we allow it to be where it is, why some of us, myself included, allow people to speak to us the way that they do, is that the long and short of what happens is dictated on that ideal that they have the offer right now. They dictate that it is how it is because they were led astray by whomever told them wrong in the first place. And so they don't want to be committed to being right. They want to be like this. They want to be nasty. They want to be insulting. They want to be ignorant. They want to be aggressive. They want to be abusive. And it's normal for them. Because what else are they going to do? What else do they have? This is all they got. The drama, the lol cowdom, that's all they got. They ain't got anything else. Nothing else motivates them. Nothing else gets them out of bed. I find that sad. I find that really, 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 really fucking sad.
I agree.
Of course, we might as well be speaking to the canaries in the coal mines. They're never going to really come to us until the shit's popping on Twitter. And yours pops a lot more than mine, because I still struggle to rebuild my following after having had my first account hacked. Because, that's the problem. I tell the truth to people, and they reward me with disloyalty. They say, you don't know anything. Look at your following. You don't have big numbers. Oh, really? Cool. Okay, based. Let me just go ahead and have that conversation with the big man in the room the next time I have a chance to talk to them. Let's see if we can all laugh about the same thing while it's happening. Yup, still laughing about it. Still fucking retorted. It's actually been very freeing for me to be aggressive now. Ever since I developed the Carl Luther persona and started answering things that way, it's been a lot more better for my mental. Namely because I'm not holding my tongue anymore, and I'm telling them, listen bro, I don't know what to tell you. No, actually I do, and I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know how annoying I find it. Because if you know how annoying it is, then maybe you'll be able to do something about it, because it's not my job to do it, and I'm not risking my shit no more for people like that. Fuck that noise. No. No. Absolutely not. Either they're going to learn to act like adults, or they're going to watch everything that they think that they want to build turn to ash in their mouth. And I will laugh at them while it happens. Because I told them. I told them, you told them, Jay told them, they didn't want to listen. Shit can't be sweet. This ain't no bakery, bitch. Shit can't be sweet. Or rather, I should say, it can't be a bakery every day. It can't rain all the time. That's one thing. We're not a doomer culture anymore. COVID's done. It's been done for like 6 years now. Yes, the elites fucked you over, but guess what? You're not dead. If you're not dead and or dying, you still have a chance to change shit. So just make the change. Become the man in the mirror. Oh, is that too hard? Oh, damn, that's crazy. I can promise you, your enemies don't care. They don't have these problems. Just y'all motherfuckers. Then beside that...
If anything, you're making it easier for your enemies to screw you over. So,
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because they're not disorganized. They're organized. They're not disorganized. Their message is on brand. They don't gotta figure out shit. Not a damn thing. No. Not a damn thing they have to figure out. As long as they are doing what they're doing. They literally can just say, listen bro, I don't know what to tell you. Things are difficult and hard everywhere. No, the fuck it's not. They just don't respect y'all. They lie to your face. Lie to you in your face. With your face. And as much as you want to complain and people will want to bemoan and they'd want to whine, they made the bed. They made this bed. For some reason, they don't want to lie in it.
Like it's a shat in it.
Talking about, oh, it's itchy. This shit feels weird. Yeah, shit should have felt weird when you were doing it. Didn't stop then. Don't stop now. Anywho, to push the conversation forward, I wouldn't say necessarily that I'm one of the good ones. I'm one of the kind ones. I'm one of the ones. I'm the kind of one you don't fuck with. Because I've been here for too long. I've earned my spot through blood, sweat, tears, embarrassment, and education. I'm not letting people take from me something I've built. I built my channel. I built my community. Every single bit of what I've done has been a brick. So, I have accepted that I won't be okay with these people. That's fine. I don't gotta be okay with them. I don't gotta be okay with them. I technically don't have to be cool with them. But I can just accept that they're gonna be like that forever. And while they're like that forever, if I really, really don't want to be associated with them, it ain't gonna be that hard to do that.
That's fair. Anyway, yeah, unfortunately I have to get back to the missus. You have a great rest of the show. I'll be listening.
No problem. No problem.
Later.
I can't give up.
And next up,
Do you know why we're here? It happens.
Laffy
It
Sappy.
can't be stopped.
No, I will succeed.
Hello?
How you doing, Saf?
How are you, Carl? It's been a minute.
Hot. It's always hot.
Always hot.
It's always hot in Georgia. New premiere series coming to FXX.
Efforts be in vain. Burn to ash, demon of Atzoatl.
What have you brought me today, Saf?
You think you can run?
Oh man, does it have to be like
No,
one thing what you're talking about? Because I did miss that.
not now.
A little bit. If you have something that you really want to talk about,
How could this happen?
then I'll grant you to.
All that I sacrificed.
Let's
Your people
see.
cannot be saved. History is already written. You can stay here and die, or come with us and help save the future.
I wanted to ask, have you seen the Michael movie yet and seen the
I do not
kind
know
of
the way to
drama
continue
that
this.
happened around that?
Let's just start talking now.
I'm aware of the drama that you're mentioning, but I have not watched the film personally myself. I'm not a very big
Okay.
person in biopics. I know it's Michael Jackson being portrayed by his nephew Jafar, who basically becomes his uncle. But the whole family bullshit, I'm kind of like soft on. I don't know much. I know a little. I don't know enough that it spoils the film for me, but I haven't watched it yet to look into it. As much as I know about it, basically came from the reporting and the review that was made by Razor Fist. Besides that, I'm bait.
Well, I haven't seen the movie either, so
If only
I
had
don't have
the
anything to
ancient
spoil you
weapon.
on.
Help us.
I suppose I'm but. I will come to your era.
It's settled then.
But more so, it conveniently, like after the movie, you have the Casio family trying to get more money from the estate and going to 60 Minutes Australia, claiming that he abused them for years and now they want compensation, I guess.
Thought won't
Fine.
take kindly to that.
Do they have proof? No proof?
I don't know what proof they show. They doctor pictures. They said they have these like photos of him, videos where they're like, guys, this is where he's being weird and inappropriate, and it's like
We'll see about it.
not really showing anything of
It begins.
importance, really.
What do we do? Help me get her through the gate!
Well, for what it's worth, it's the same rigmarole that happened from the last lawsuit before Michael was acquitted, but they tried to then go behind him with all those documentaries from people who had been around him to try to create the air with drone footage to allege that he'd been guilty of something. It's all bullshit. People like Razor Fist have continued singing his innocence, because he is. People like Macaulay Culkin continues to hold the fact that nothing ever happened to him, and they wanted desperately to get somebody close to him to put the knife in his back, and nobody who actually knows him was willing to do it. The Paris Jackson has been heavily defending her relationship with her father in such a way where she has denied interviews and has shut people down on the spot and disallowed people into that inner world that she has. Lots and lots of drama around the shit because people wanted basically a bigger biopic, because the last biopic I know I've ever seen about Michael Jackson was the one starring Flex Alexander, where they were willing to go to the nines, like dress up this very tall black man in this white paint to make like a TV miniseries about basically all of the bigger like jump off points in Michael's life, including after the hair burn and after the lawsuits, and especially during the time period of Neverland Ranch and all that other shit. Like, that's not the kind of biopic that you guys got. It basically stops right before the lawsuit that was very much important to the identity of Michael, and it also chooses to set up Michael's father as some evil devil big bad that is basically controlling Michael's life in perpetuity, which it's not to say that it didn't happen, but it didn't happen the way in which the film chose to make it happen. So this biopic is more like the triumphant version of Michael's life. And then maybe if they go behind this shit and make it into a fucking Michael Jackson cinematic universe, they're gonna come behind it with the fall. Like, you're gonna have the setup with the meteoric rise and the superstardom, and then you're gonna have the fall where we get to explain exactly how much Diana Ross really wanted to ride Michael's cock. And all the other shit there too. All the nasty things that nobody wants to see on camera. All the nasty things that nobody wants to see on tape. Being demonstrated with Jafar's hips and members of his family taking artistic liberty in their brother slash cousin slash blood relative's death. And that part of it I don't look forward to if that happens. I know they're in talks to do things like that with it, but I don't want to see that happen. I would be very disappointed. That needs to go the way of the dodo in the industry in general. Both the marvelization of like cinematic universes around a person or a figure or a thing, if there isn't enough energy to do it, and very much so the desire of just monetizing the celebrity so far past his death that it doesn't make sense why this is happening. I've made my peace with the fact that that's just going to be how Hollywood behaves. So, like, as a film, it probably deserves to exist, but it probably should not be continued unless there's actual passion in really talking about Michael's story and choosing to elevate the good things, not the bad things.
Well, I think people want to see the bad things elevated because they're so hung up on like him being quote unquote inappropriate with kids.
I mean, it's the same energy as people being hung up about Epstein Island and claiming people have never been there. They have to suck cock. Like, it's done. It's over. It's no more litigating of this problem. No more. No more relitigating it in the public eye because, the smear campaign didn't work the way we wanted to last time, so we're going to do it on an even bigger... No. It's gay, it's retarded, you're dumb. Go away. Go back to the hellspawn pits where people came from. Go back to the snarker dens that created you. Go back to the hell dump posting boards where you feel comfortable because you can't show your face IRL. Most people are done with it. There are plenty of retarded people nowadays. You don't need to add on that level of retardation on top of all other kinds of retardation. You've got people getting doxxed and fired from horse sanctuaries. You've got people embarrassing and destroying entire YouTube platforms, burning bridges with their personal friends, going off of the lives of autistic snarkers and the people who surround them. You don't need to do extra shit to destroy yourself. That's not necessary. Let's see, what time is it? I unfortunately do not have a lot of time for today's broadcast, folks, but I'm trying to make as much of it as I can. We're at 1:52. I got like another hour. Well, actually, no, not another hour. 6.
Yeah, I understand.
It's like I got another 8 minutes, actually. So, is there anything else that I can fill in contextually for anybody before I go or leave? Do you have any more questions you want to ask, Seth?
Oh man, I feel bad for not like contributing too much with the posting the Printing Press Express. I have seen a couple things go down via Twitter. I'm sure you've talked about it. I don't know.
I would know
like the Gamerverse quote unquote controversy with like and Gooseworks, all that stuff.
Oh, okay. So I'm not aware of Gamerverse. I'm very aware of the ending of the Amazing Digital Circus, only because it was slightly predictable, and also these fans demonstrated that they can't handle shit. So the question that you had asked me before of whether or not these people would be willing to allow for space to create and demonstrate that IRL creation and individual indie products deserve to have a platform, the answer is no. They will leak your footage, then they will complain about the ending, and then they will berate the creator because the creator chose to try and engage with their community rather than working from inside of a Hugbox cave. And it doesn't matter if Gooseworks is transgender or not. Actually, no. They don't have to respond and talk back to people who talk to them antagonistically like never-ending snarkers. No, actually, it's unacceptable that you guys are pissed off and mad about the ending being the way you think it shouldn't have been, or being a different kind of ending than what you wanted. No, actually, you don't deserve to complain, bitch, whine, cry, and moan, and then claim that gaming is dead and creativity is dead, while in your same breath, you want to basically keep shitting on the shows while they continue to get produced. Like, we took a time travel portal back to the beginning or the mid-time era of the creation of Adventure Time or Steven Universe. That is not gonna happen. You guys had a chance to prove that you were adults, to go to the theater, wait patiently, watch the fucking movie on the big screen, and then talk about it at length and measure however you fucking wanted. All you guys had to do was behave like regular human beings during Phase 3 of Marvel. That's all you guys had to do. And they couldn't fucking do it. And so now, they're bitching and moaning about everything, and I don't blame Gooseworks for making the decisions that they're making about their content and their strategy moving forward. Because the community, quote, community, air quotes, the community, these users demonstrated they're not trustworthy, and they don't deserve to have the creator's ear. So, as much as I could say, wow, what a pussy move for them to run to Blue Sky, no, actually, they should go to Blue Sky. They should get away from these people. They're obnoxious. How many of them claimed they were going to leave the website in the first place, and they're still here?
He's still here, still yapping.
Then, on the Gamerverse shit, I don't understand. Is it because she's horny? Is it because she's too horny? Is it because she's drawn horny? What is the actual controversy there?
The female characters don't have a varied, quote unquote, realistic body type, even though it's a video game about a video game character. And what do female video game characters known for? Having costumes, looking attractive. So I can tell what, Ross and his crew were trying to do. But, since it's a glitch, I think it might be the earliest example of a glitch property or glitch production show having fan service, quote unquote. Because if you've seen the Digital Circus characters, they don't really have like
sexual traits.
Kind of, yeah. They're kind of like, noodly and cartoon like.
That's by design, and like I don't know how many ways you'd go with it. Like, was that a problem with Murder Robots? Was that a problem with Knights of Guinevere? Despite the fact that that show kind of like goes very far left because the people who happen to be a part of it and are making it, like, are they fucking stupid? Are they supposed to wear bags on their heads? Are they supposed to wear oversized potato sacks? Should they never have any form or figure whatsoever? Women don't have curves?
No, because that's what men like. That's weird.
Oh my god. I don't... So, this never-ending war of the male gaze, if you can dress a certain way when you're, quote, pandering to the queers, so let's just use lesbians, okay? When you're pandering to the sapphics and you care about making woman-loving woman relationships not based on body type and attitude and perspective, all that energy that you're putting in there, I need you to put that onto men. Thank you. Like, the argument has always been, well, we're not trying to make them into gooner bait for fucking chuds. No. The last I checked, women like to flick vagina too, actually. Last I checked, women like to spread the bean and flick the bean and show their pride in the pussy queen. Last I checked, lesbians like women who look attractive too. So it can't be the men. Stop blaming the men. oh, the woman's too attractive. It's just for the chuds. I don't care, and neither should you. You should care about the characters being characters first. It's always that cope. It's not a good cope. Because I've seen them goon to worse. I'm literally going to be... I'm literally about to go into season 3 of Interview with the Vampire, aka The Vampire Was Thought, with Jay, okay? I've seen how these niggas care about their fag haggery. I know what these women actually want. I know what they want. I know what you want. I know what you need. I know what you want. And you are motherfucking nasty. Y'all nasty.
As we famously went over the Love and Deep Space thing, of course.
Yes. Images of black women. Like, do I even remember what her name is? It's the black girl who showed me.
It was like Hobikage
Yes,
Games?
that's what it is. Yes. Fucking women like Hobikage Games biting her nail. I'm not gonna turn on my camera because it's hot in here. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I am in my dungarees, okay? I ain't got no shirt.
Understandable.
I got shorts. I got thin shorts underneath the shorts. It's like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. But I remember very clearly women biting their nails. Oh my god. Oh, I want to ride his face like a fucking tricycle. I remember the women biting their tongues. The women biting their lips. The women fucking trying to do their best, quote, Megan the Stallion / Cardi B guitar solo on stage in front of a live studio audience. I remember you bitches being so hot and heavy for effectively softcore porn. I've noticed that they've upgraded to where now the men insert themselves inside and actually thrust against the girl.
Yeah.
Y'all nasty. Y'all some whores. Yeah. Y'all some fucking liars. You think men are the problem? No, it's women. Hypocritically, every time, it's the women. You gotta stop it. They have to stop. It's too much. It's gotta stop. It's gotta stop because they're lying. That's the big problem, because they're lying. Many of them know that they're lying too. And we're not down with the shit. It's not cool. It's not cool. It's not cool. It's not good. It's not great. It's not perfect. But, you know, if you like sex, you like sex, okay? You don't have to advertise it all the time, but you're allowed to have your hobbies. But don't fucking say, how dare you pander to the male gaze? And then you have like 25 different fetish outfits that are specifically designed to be appealing to transgenders and be queer femme women, but only in the Sabrina Carpenter style of appeal. You know, the bimboification of intelligence and fashion. That shit don't fucking work. Because at the end of the day, that's a performer. They're performing. Y'all niggas, that's who you are on the inside. That's who you are. It's you. And you have a black soul. It's very nasty. It's filled with tar. Wrapped around with briar patches. No man can pick your flower. Because your flower is just a thorn. It's a giant thorn. Everything's a thorn.
Yeah. Like, personally, I didn't find, like, Kit's, the character's name is Kit Bodega in Gameverse. I didn't find her design offensive at all. I thought it was, you know, alright for what it is. I'm surprised they picked a, anthropomorphic cat girl as their lead, but, you know, that's, I think that's an easy way for people to latch on and say, like, oh, this is cute cat girl in it, I'm gonna watch that, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that, but to treat it as like her having curves as something harmful is just like just really? Are you guys all like children or something? Like,
yes, they are. The simple fact of it is that a lot of this happens because these people who are involved in these spaces are in fact still mentally children. They were children during COVID. They grew up in the 5 to 6 years in which they were 16 to 19, and now they are young adults that are going through their mid-20s, but they have never grown out of the need of using, but I'm a kid, as a justification to win every argument they enter into. They are not unaware, they're not stupid, they know what they're doing, and they haven't been spanked for doing it. They're being retarded on purpose, because it worked for them before, it will work for them again. All they gotta do is exhaust all the other people who have to listen to them in the room when they're talking. But, you know, the less you say, the better. The more I know, the better. The less I know, the better. Name a lyric from Tame Impala. It'll probably apply to the situation. Something, something, something. This makes me feel like Dracula.
Hey, where's that remote to the garage at the?
She is being asked questions, so she had to deafen her microphone. She'll be back in a few seconds, people. Either way, people in the chat room, you've got like an extra 5 minutes to ask me questions before I have to go cook dinner, and I take my leave for the night. Get those questions in now. That's right. Dial 55555 or runthemhands.org. Otherwise, click the link that is pinned
hello?
in the comment section. Welcome back. And I can get to you privately.
Sorry.
Welcome back. Anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, I got surprised. I didn't.
No, that's fine. If you have something else to add, let me know.
No, I don't have to go anywhere. He just was asking me something.
Okay. Did you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
It's just that, like, you know, when I look at that stuff with like Gaberverse and like, you know, it makes me kind of, man, I was like, man, I really have like a kind of I don't care attitude about like when I design characters and I make them busty or whatever. Because, like, at least I know now that immediately filters people. And if they find out that, you know, it's a woman drawing it, it will make them mad, but, you know, they can't exactly do anything about it.
It could, but usually it
because
blows
they
up
want
their
it to.
face. Yes, it usually blows up their face. It's the men that they like to target this with. But there aren't that many male drawers, and the one that I know of, Krekov, who basically makes, or is his name Infamous? No, it's 3 Infamous. The guy that makes the things like Skyla and the St. Dennis cartoons. He also does an official porn of his own characters. You know, it's easier to try to attack somebody like that, but it wouldn't get you the same result, because it's like, it's his art. What are you gonna do? Sue him for making DJ look so fuckable? You don't like seeing Cece's mom open her legs and expose her bush? That's crazy. You can look away. You can look away. Like, imagine if Meat Canyon drew porn of his famous parodies. Okay? Do we want to go there? We could go there. We've been there already. We've dealt with Shadman. It's just so silly. They can't attack men because there's not many of them to attack. And of those that exist, they exist purely in the porn scene. They're shameless. Why do they give a shit? So the only ones left are the women. And the women are carrying a lot of unfair burdens here because of those incestuous white women. And they're usually white. Not all, but many. So
I've noticed it's like white women and like, I want to say Brazilians, Mexicans, some French people, like people in Asia usually don't care about that stuff.
Okay. Long and short, they kind of have to be told to shut the fuck up, period. But they need to be like given that extra grade, fuck off out of my audience type shit.
Yeah.
Only thing that you can say is don't join the Destiny 3 petition. Are there people seriously trying to push that shit? Oh my god. That's horrible. Don't have a lot of money, but enough to pay for the PE2 sale right now. Would it be better to get this for a new player experience or go back to playing PoE 1? That is actually a good question, and thank you for reminding me, because I have keys to give away, actually. Because since you guys did not use the money on the last running of the hands, and I bought another $30, I have $50 of money that I can use to gift people keys right now that are present in the chat room. Because they're selling early access keys for $15. Thank you for reminding me about that, Fancy. But to answer that question, the reason why I would say it's better to get people into this is because this is designed for a new player experience. PoE 1 is the more complicated game. You want people in this one. There have been many YouTubers and VAs pushing for Destiny 3 as well as Destiny Infinity. I think the more time goes by, the more your position that Destiny 2 needed to take its leave is more relevant, because the cycle of news around Marathon has actually come to a permanent standstill right now. Yes, they're in between seasons as they officially move from Season 1 to Season 2, and now people are making arguments about how actually this game doesn't have any fear of missing out content, when it very much does have FOMO content, the same way that Apex Legends and Fortnite has FOMO content. But oh my god, you do not need to have Destiny 3. You should not need to support Marathon to get Destiny 3. If Sony, the new owners of the Bungie properties, wanted to make it, they should have already put forth time to produce it. They do not need to make it. They just need to let Destiny chill. Let it exist as a property that other people can choose to look back on and enjoy. Let them cry their tears. Let them enjoy the fact that they were there when it happened. And let the FOMO actually exist. Then, look at the sphere of influence around live service games and decide if they actually want to make another one. Because they already have Marathon. That's a live service game that they're operating right now as a loss leader. It's not going very well for them. They might have a dedicated player base that's willing to play it, but 10k players is not the same situation like that was happening around such as Helldivers 2. In the case of Helldivers 2, they at least have the ability to make the argument that, you know, they were getting fucked over by Sony directly. Like it's itchy as shit. Okay, so they at least had the argument to claim that the problem is that nostalgia and bait and nostalgia bait and all the other things that go into the use of how to make a property viable and possible was necessary for the purposes of Destiny 3. And allegedly, if you're a good brand loyal slave, you're gonna put all of your weight behind them. Because if they hear and see how much you want it, then they'll do it. You know, it's a whole fucking, if I can see it, if I can do it. That's just not gonna fucking work here. Because you do not have the player base to justify the creation of that live service title, let alone the continuation of this live service title. They just don't got it. Like, why the fuck would I ever choose to be in the lose everything factory if I'm not playing in a mode with people like Marcus and Dax as a part of my three-man stack, when I could instead enjoy a wonderful 4 to 6 hour session playing something like Path of Exile 2 at the beginning of the season that is going to dictate what goes into 0.1's launch after November this year. Why the fuck would I do that to myself? I would rather go play for Hermitcraft, which is exactly what we've started doing with DevCord, as Dave is the guild leader of this guild on that server. A long-standing server that is inside of the creation space of Wrath of the Lich King. So it's not like Turtle WoW, which was basically Classic Plus on the vanilla. And the way to set yourself up and to play that, I've already posted inside of the now renamed Chromie WoW section of the server. But what would provoke you to be like, yeah, you know what I'd like to have? Could I have a all girl on girl bukkake, or getting fucked in the ass with a scolder's bridle on my face? Which one sounds more pleasurable? Why would I ever choose option 2 when option 1 literally involves me lifting no fingers and I still win? There's no reality where that fucking happens. Not one. Not one. All the people arguing for it to happen, they very clearly are stuck. They're stuck in a reality where they have to do things this way. And it's like a crack addict. There's no other way to say it. It's like a crack addict. I'll try to put it to you like this. Let me see if I can find a file for it. Let's see here. Do I have this TikTok saved on my fucking platform? I hope I do. Favorite, liked, favorite, repost. Here we go. So, there's this trend going around where basically people use a CapCut template to project themselves into a meme, and somebody chose to use the character of Tyrone Biggums to demonstrate this. But this is basically the attitude of every single person who's still on this Destiny train. Because it just perfectly fits, number one. And number two, you niggas are so cracked out. You are so addicted that you're like, yes, baby. Yes, honey. I'm coming, boo boo chicken fritter. I'm on my way. Ah! Running in the distance with not even a promise of guarantee, but the potential that it might happen to get them to give you what they clearly don't want. Because as a loss leader, they're putting their energy behind Marathon. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Have some self-respect. Have some decency. It's like going back to an abusive boyfriend that does nothing but beat you and cream pie you because he doesn't care whether or not you're going to get hurt from what he chooses to do. Maybe this time he won't beat me. You know, maybe this time he'll be more considerate with my wallet. Oh no, he spent another $1,000 on bullshit he doesn't need. It's okay, honey. You're doing your best. And then you cry yourself to sleep at night. Pissing positive on a stick. Hoping that it's negative. But you know it's not gonna happen. Why are y'all niggas still asking for it? Alas. Hard lessons. So no matter how you really look at the issue, you kind of can't really get away from Destiny as a topic because of how popular it fucking was. It deserves its flowers. But here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. It had its time. We gave it its flowers. The flowers are in the vase. The rose is wilting. Let it go! Let it go. Let it go. Let it the fuck go. Stop it. Let it go. That's probably also the same thing I would have to say about the Glitch shit. Glitch Entertainment pretty much is stuck with the audience that they have. Doesn't matter if you say it's because they have a woke audience that, you know, she tried to give them he, she, they, she, he, man, she. Doesn't matter how Gooseworks allowed people to have, like, access mentally, creatively to their mental space and their creative space, and now they're going to pull back heavily and only ever interface with it in a I put out content, consume content please, don't touch me you filthy heathen methodology. They are going to be like that forever because they have been shown that it works. And until you tell them and show them that they cannot bully you, that's going to be how that happens there, period. And it is sad, but they need to learn the lesson. They need to learn the lesson. Period. They need to learn the lesson. They have to. Because if they don't, they're going to keep it up. Now, having said all that, assuming you have nothing else that you would like to add, Saf.
That's all. I know you're pressed for time. I hope it wasn't like too much to like bring up or talk about.
No, not at all. This is where I will now pull out these cards and scratch it upon them so that I may be able to disseminate the codes. Or rather, I should say, to disseminate the money to myself to then buy the codes for all of you. Don't cut your fucking wire cord, Carl. So, I have to buy them through the Steam store. So, if you do not have a Steam account, I apologize. I believe if you associate it with your website or with your account, you should be able to actually use it on your thing. But I'm going to do this at the Steam store, so I'm going to send it to people who are on the friends list. One of the people who is going to get a code mandated by me is going to be Fancy Pants, because Fancy did place 3rd in the tournament, but because he was the only person there that was able to accept a reward prize, but he denied it then, I'm going to give him this as a consolidation prize now. And with it being $15, 15, 30, 45, that gives me just enough to hand out 3 total keys. I'm going to go ahead and get that started. So, let's see here. This. Okay, that's one. And this. Can't make that letter out. I can. This. That. This. That is 0. Yep. This. There we go. Okay. $50 in my hand. Going to the Battle of Exile store. And we're going to add to cart. This is a gift. First one, going to gift recipient. That's Fancy Pants. Click the button. Agree to terms. And done. Okay, Fancy, can you please check and make sure that you received that gift? Swallow and call me, don't know if that's the name. Oh, when you see, when you do it, it's the same. Oh, you swallow and gone up the son of the pain. Everybody doing it, they ought to be down. My face is itchy. My face is itchy. My face is itchy. God, I've been surrounded by so much fucking talcum powder from the fucking hospital. Waiting for his confirmation. You see the email. It's taking him a hot second to check that. While he's doing that, I'm going to check the people who have this game on their wish list. See here. I see another person who wants it on their list. I see 4 people total who actually want this on their list. He has confirmed it. That is 1. There is 1 extra person here. No, he already confirmed. Okay, so not necessary. I would have said there was only 1 extra person who's there in the broadcast who would get it. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go off the people who are on the want this game list. And I'm going to do that again as a gift. Gift recipient. People who want the game. Done. Signed, sealed, delivered. Boom. That's 2. And last one. Blank words. Last one. As Carl looks at the Square Enix Dragon Quest sale that he definitely does not need, because I do not need to buy the Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 redo. Ew. Jesus Christ, why are these expensive? That's a crazy amount of money to sell for that for. Anyways, yeah. Pick up the last person. Give that to them. Gift options, gift recipient. And I already did him, so we're going to do him. Because I saw Aqua in here earlier, but Aqua left. Boom, done. 3 gift recipients. I've chosen with a methodology of them tagging themselves of having wanted it. The recipients are 1, Fancy, 2, Struggler, and 3, Aqua. The email should be in their account. They should get a notification of it. And there's 98 cents remaining from the cards. So I'll have to buy more in the future when my check comes in, when that happens, because hospital shit has really fucked a lot of things up. But that is literally all the time that I have for you guys tonight. I apologize that I don't have more time, but that's all I got. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for being a part of my neighborhood. And if you wish to become a part of my neighborhood so that you too can be able to receive cool shit, consider going to all places where Carl and Carl-related accessories can be sold. And I will see you all next time. Same Carl time, same Carl channel, all here on Carl2 Network, and possibly under better fucking weather conditions. It's too goddamn hot outside. It's too goddamn hot inside. Okay, people. Goodbye. Have a good time. I love you. Kiss your mother. Kiss your brother. Hasta mañana. And bon nuit. Bon nuit to you all.